Japanese Horror Stories. Master Series. Necromancy Experiment. From around GW in my first year of college, I often appeared on a forum on the internet. It was a place where local occult lovers gathered, and it was quite a success with people always there even at midnight. Around the middle of the rainy season, there was talk of doing a necromancy experiment. It seems that the regulars have done it several times, and there seemed to be some off-site exchanges. I was addicted to the occult and wanted to join the group. Put it in. Free at any time. Super free time was appealing and OK came out. A woman named Coco, who was the center, seems to be a medium quality, she says. It seems that she used to gather her friends and do necromancy off. Although the date was fixed, there were few people who could afford it, so I became a member of Coco, Mikachi, Kayasuk, and myself. Although the number of people is small, all three were regulars, so... Is it okay? Of course I had no objection, but I was afraid to take someone who was a newcomer. It was a senior in my circle, a master of my occult way, and a so-called visible person, not a medium. I was fascinated by this person's awesomeness, and wanted to brag to the off members. However, even if he urges him to go to his master, he does not shake his head stubbornly. It's annoying, it's ridiculous, I can't babysit. When I was giving a detailed explanation to try to persuade him, the teacher's attitude changed when he gave his name. They say stop it. When I was surprised, why I'm scared. It seemed like someone who knew it from the point of view, but I wanted to get scared and participated. Well, I can't go anyway. No matter what happens, I have to go. The mentor didn't tell me anything more, but the fun of off from the unexpected place of being endorsed by the mentor came out. On that day, we met at a family restaurant in the city. There, while eating dinner, the flowers bloomed in the occult discussion. It was a setup to move to the venue, Coco's condominium, when it was a good time. Mr. Coco was a beautiful person, but he had a creepy impression, because he talked without intonation. Mikachi is a woman who speaks a lot, and Coco sometimes hits it with an izuchi. To my surprise, they were both seniors at my university. Kayasuk has a part-time job, so I'll come directly to my house later, said Coco. I somehow wondered if they were lovers. Then, around 11 o'clock at night, Mikachi-san's car headed for the condominium with 3 people. Kayasuk-san contacted me that I would be late, and I decided to start. I suddenly started to get excited. Mr. Coco completely closed a room in the condominium to prevent any light from entering. Kakuri-san has done it many times, but this is the first time for him to do something like this. It is also called a spiritual experiment, but in other words, a spiritual experiment is to drop a spirit onto the human body. When I entered the pitch-black room, a candle lit. Then, let's begin. All the emotional things disappeared from Coco's facial expression. I'll explain that there are people who are new to us today. No matter what happens from now on, please do not make noise and keep your mind calm. Disturbances always lead to bad results. Coco spoke plainly. Mikachi is also silent. I tried to hide my inner anxiety and said, "Do I have to open the window?" Coco whispered when she stared at me with a face like no mask. Window is not a barrier to the spiritual body. It does not prevent it from passing through. However, what I'm going to do now is to put my body in a cage. It would be nice if it could be confined well, but by any chance. So I closed my mouth. I was redone. My heart started ringing so much that I wanted to run away. But there is no turning back. The necromancy experiment has begun. I closed my eyes as I was told. The candlelight is dimly reflected in the red eyelids. I can hear Coco's voice out of nowhere. This is your room. A familiar ceiling. The view outside the window. Please get up. Stretch and stand. Then the visibility became higher. I will look around. I saw the door. You are about to get out of the room. Isn't this that? He closes his eyes and goes around his house in his head. And in the middle of that, it's a psychological game. The words that Mr. Coco said just before the start broke my head. Usually, after getting down to the medium, the rest of the people ask questions. However, in my way, I would like you to meet in person. I swallowed the situation. Fear was at its peak, but such an opportunity is rare. Calm heart. Calm heart. I was absorbed in the image. There was a strange voice saying "Coo," and there was a sign that Mr. Coco was shaking his body. Hold hands. In a circle. We held hands by groping with our eyes closed. The burning of the candles disappeared from the eyelids with a humming sound, and complete darkness came down. There is a faint voice. You leave the room. Is it a hallway? Is it a kitchen? It was a sight that was seen as usual. After looking around enough, you look for the next door. In my image, I was in my room at my parents' house instead of the boarding house. Everything can be imagined realistically. I went down the hallway and opened my parents' bedroom. Light is shining through the window. Looking back at the tatami mats, I squint. I started going down the stairs. Kashiki squeaking sound. The feel of the railing. There is a sliding door on the left. It's a guest room. It's always dark even in the daytime with the shutters down. I was not good at this when I was a kid. There is a faint voice. You look for it while walking. Is there anything different than usual? Is there anything different than usual? Is there anything different than usual? I turned on the lights in the guest room. A cutout wrist fell on the tatami mat in the middle. I took a breath. Human right wrist. Blood was dripping from the cut and dyed the tatami mats black. Don't stay in this room. I turned my heels back and jumped out of the room. I cut through the corridor and jumped into the living room on the first floor. My ankle was lying on the dining table. I'm back. Unpalatable. It's a failure. This spirit is dangerous. It's already the limit. I tried to open my eyes. Did not open. I cried. Get it out. But that voice only echoed in the empty living room. I ran. I had my shoes in my house. I can't afford to wear it and twist the door. However, the pusher does not open. Get it out. I hit the door violently with both hands. There is a faint voice out of nowhere. But I can't hear it anymore. I ran towards the front door. I stumbled upon something on the way and fell. Painful. Painful. It really hurts. Looking closely at the stumbling block, it was a human torso without both hands and feet. The mailbox on the front door opened with a click. Something was about to come out of the gap. I die here. I had such a feeling. At that time, a chime sounded. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. Then I heard a bright voice with a rattling noise. Oh. Are you doing it? I noticed that I had my eyes open. It's dark. However, this is definitely Coco's apartment. Hey, here? The door of the room opened and the dazzling fluorescent light came in. I could see the faces of Coco and Mikachi. Oops, did you disturb me? Sman. Was saved. My hands trembled with a sense of relief. The person behind the door against the light looked like a goddess. At that time, I heard Coco muttering, I disturbed you. I hurriedly let go of Coco-san. I was sweating all over my body. Later, I talked a lot about the story at the master's house. However, the master giggles at this horrifying story. It got caught nicely. What is it? I swelled. It's hypnosis. What? The psychological game doesn't originally keep talking like that and induce an image. Is there anything different than usual? What? I wasn't convinced. But the teacher affirms. I asked for the seeds. You've been on the right track lately. Give me a little threat. Did you know each other? I got sick and lost power around my navel. But he was a woman with the handle named Kayasuk. I thought he was Coco's boyfriend. The teacher started laughing at this tweet. That's right. Coco is my girlfriend. The next day, when I appeared in the circle box, there was a Master and Mr. Coco. I'm sorry during this time. I overdo it. The teacher was grinning next to Mr. Coco, who bowed his head. Because this is a ghost. It was the first time I met him in the same circle. Mr. Coco had a pale face even when he came out under the daytime sun. Well, don't fool people by saying that you're a medium. It wasn't for that reason that I taught the feel of hypnosis. Mr. Coco arrogantly replied and turned to me. Chino, walk, nice to meet you, Junior. Since then, I'm not good at this person. After that, the teacher said something like this. But it's strange to see the wrists and torso. I was asked if there was something different than usual, and you saw it. Is that the image of the ghost in you? Of course not. If so, I might see it someday. What do you mean? Well, I understand. The teacher laughed meaningfully.